I have not created content on YouTube for the past, what was it, like 6 months? I think the last thing I posted was like beginning of this year, but I am more than happy to say that I'm finally coming back because I found something that actually works on a weekly basis. Okay, so there's that. I started writing newsletters again. I think it's been like 1, 2 months since I've been consistently posting, and I've decided to take my hand at actually recording it. So for today, take one type shit, no redos, no edits, none of that shit. I've honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten tired of watching these videos that are like super hyper edited with like these like fast moving colors and random B rolls and shit like that. I mean, adding a little bit is cool and all, but adding too much, that shit has been driving me crazy. But anyways, for sake of time, for today's video, this is based off my newsletter that I wrote called "You Can't Be Broke, Lost, and Confident. Pick One." And this is how I rebuilt my confidence, income, and body in 90 days. So, starting off with this statistic, 75% of Americans are out of shape. 40% of American adults don't have $1,000 in emergency savings. 77% of Americans are in debt. And just as an FYI, yes, I am reading off of my newsletter that I wrote, but I did want to give some insights as I read along. So, a few things that I've been seeing, especially across social media, is people in my generation, people around my age, complaining and blaming their circumstances on external things that we can't control. Politics, economy, job market, the dating scene. It fucking sucks. It's all their fault that I'm in this position that I'm in now. And that's insane. That's the average 20-year-old. That's the average person of my generation. And the thing is, right, because of all these different circumstances, they get put in this hopeless situation of, maybe if I just keep grinding away at my current job that I currently have right now, I can eventually save up enough money to maybe take a week off with my PTO, and then maybe I can eventually pay off my student debt. And I think that more and more people, and this is honestly beautiful to see, that more and more of us are starting to wake up to the reality that the things that our parents taught us, the things that our grandparents taught us about going to school, getting a solid education, and then, graduating with fucking debt, and then getting a job just to pay it off, I think more and more people are starting to see that it doesn't really make sense. So, I'm not saying, and I'm not against getting a 9 to 5 job. What I am against is against people that have wants, desires, dreams, and then doing something that doesn't really bring them closer to where they want to be. So, that being said, I realize that most guys around my age, right, they're starting to understand that, and they're trying to find new ways of making money online. If not trying to make boatloads of money, at least trying to find a way to make money from home, like finding like a remote job so that they can at least spend more time with their loved ones, still be able to kind of travel the world while still making an income. So, while they have made a few attempts, myself included, like I've done this in the past, right? And in my early 20s, I've tried doing that and I failed. I failed maybe like 4 times before with different business models. And here's the thing, like I could relate to you guys, because here's the thing. I think guys in our generation, we're the ones that are supposed to lead, provide, protect, at least for our family members, like at the very least for ourselves, to be able to take care of ourselves, right? And the craziest thing is that because we are in our 20s, we're supposed to be at our strongest. We are biologically at our peak. We have the highest capability of learning, of fucking writing, of doing. We have the most amount of energy. But the thing is, most of us are not. Most of us are stuck, we're confused, we're broke, we're out of shape. And I know this because friends around my age, they're chasing motivation in the form of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok videos, and fucking podcasts. And trust me, like I've done it before too. And at the same time, it's like you chase this form of motivation, but you also want to make money online, but you also want the freedom to travel the world and live life on your terms. But at the same time, you're out of shape, you've never had a girlfriend, or you did have one, and you ended up fumbling the bag, and then since then, nothing in life has changed for the past few weeks, few months, few years. I've been in that position when I was 24. And I've been in that position recently, 6 months ago when I was 27. And the thing is, I was probably in an even worse position than most of you guys. 10K debt at 24, 20K debt at 27, skinny fat at 24, underweight at 27, $0 made at 24, and my 5th business failure at 27. I was holding my parents' marriage together at 24. My parents got divorced at 27. My ex-girlfriend telling me to quit all my dreams at 24. And another ex dumped me at 27. I have come back from seemingly rock bottom twice. The first time it took me 4 years, from 21 to 25, to change my entire life around. And then it took me 90 days at 27 to come back stronger, wealthier, and wiser, and even more confident. But this only happened because of this one concept that is rarely spoken of, that I am the only one that has spoken about for so fucking long, but I just never had the balls to actually come out and talk about this more often. So, and another thing, and I am throwing shade at these other people that do talk about this concept, it's called identity shifting. The other people that do talk about it, they're fat, they're ugly, they're out of shape, and no offense to these guys, they know exactly what they're talking about, but the main issue with them is that they don't look like what they're trying to teach, which is identity shifting. But I'll get into that in a sec. This whole concept, it's not really about, the whole concept of trying to change your life. It's not so much about choosing the right business model or reading a certain book or watching more motivational videos. It's not really about that. Those do play a part. But before I dive into that, you're going to need to accept that the following is true. It's going to be a huge ego hit, because for me, when I accepted it, I was just like, damn, yo, this really fucking sucks. It was like checkmate for me in my feelings. I was like, I'm really not as good as I think I am. So the following you need to accept is this. Number 1, you're lost and you're confused on what you should be doing. You're struggling with procrastination and consistency. You suck at making money online even though others are successful. You have low self-confidence. You lack self-respect. You're broke as fuck and you will stay that way. And here's the thing. Until you understand that this is you and you understand the concept that I'm going to share with you, nothing will change. So let's move on to the next section. We are the strongest generation to exist. And obviously, as someone that's in Gen Z, I'm hella fucking biased. Bite me, hate me, say whatever the fuck you want. I truly believe that our generation is the strongest one to ever exist because we have the best of both worlds. We have the traditional hardworking traits from our parents and our grandparents. I don't know about you guys, but, in the US, our parents that immigrated here, they sacrificed everything from their hometown just to fucking come here to try to start a new life. I like to believe that my generation has adopted some of their traits from the hardworking part. And now the second reason is the technological advances, right? We have automation, we have ChatGPT, we have AI. And that's created from my generation and also the millennials. So in this very moment, we are living in what I like to call the golden era of opportunity, where the average population is out of shape, confused, lost, and broke as fuck. So right now, it's so easy to stand out from the crowd right now. There is no competition. Nobody is doing anything phenomenally crazy. Like, the only thing you have to do to stand out is basic self-care. So the craziest part about that as well is also the fact that we have all the knowledge that we need of our previous successes, of successful business owners, of athletes, of anybody it is that you want to name that you view as successful. All that information is in the palm of our hands in the form of a smartphone. And that's it. We literally have unlimited resources everywhere. And that's the thing, right? Our competition is this. People that are sending thousands of applications on Indeed.com with fucking outdated resumes, no skills to offer, and relying on luck. And these people are literally complaining, I can't find a fucking job. You're doing the same shit as everybody else. Of course you're not going to fucking stand out. And that's the thing that got me so triggered, because I saw this response on one of my posts. Someone literally said, this guy's fucking delusional. He doesn't understand anything about the job market. Brother, I know full well about the fucking job market. It is competitive as fuck, because there's thousands of you guys doing the same exact thing as thousands of the other people applying for the same thing. Of course you're not going to fucking get a job because you're not standing out from the crowd. Now, besides that, them as a person, they're either overweight or they're underweight, and they're struggling with simple shit like eating habits, bro. You can't stop fucking munching on McDonald's and cookies and cupcakes, And now you're fat. And besides that, they're struggling with doom scrolling instead of self-educating with other things. When was the last time you fucking read a book about anything? Probably since high school? Who the fuck knows? And these are the same people that complain about, oh yeah, I don't feel like waking up today. Let me go watch a fucking motivational video instead of relying on self-discipline and self-respect. My guy, you are in your 20s. You're a full-grown fucking adult. Why do you need someone to tell you to take care of yourself? And I get it. Being better is a choice, and I know that it's easier said than done. And my entire generation, they all suffer from that. I've suffered from that. From trying to do self-control, from trying to change my own life. Because I've done that for 3 years, trying to change my own shit. From 21 to 24 after graduation, and nothing fucking worked. So, let's talk about this concept so that you can stop doom scrolling and hopefully actually commit to changing yourself in the next few years so that, you know, the next few years doesn't look like a sad repeat of 2022, 2023, and 2024. So let's talk about this framework. It's a 3-step framework that I created, and it's not mind-boggling or anything, but a little bit about this framework. It is called identity shifting. I'll talk to you about the origin of the framework. So I suffered with inconsistencies, with procrastination, with doom scrolling, with bad habits like fucking touching myself and, oh my god, a whole bunch of other shit that I'm not really proud of. But the thing is, having suffered with that for almost 3-4 years, I've honestly learned a lot from that. And, you know, besides changing my life at 25, now that I'm 27 and I have made, you know, further refinements with the framework itself, and like ever since I was like 25, I'm super grateful that I had the opportunity to learn about this concept and then help 200 other entrepreneurs do the same shit, and then I ended up spending over 20K in mentorship. So I've learned a lot. I've networked with different people around, you know, my age. Some of them are other athletes, business owners, and other content creators. And by far, this is the most effective method that I've found when it comes to building a bigger bank account, stronger body, healthier mind, and just ultimately becoming the best version of yourself. Super corny as fuck, I know, but it is what it is. So this framework, we're not using AI, we're not like doing crypto, dropshipping, SMA, or, you know, choosing a business model or anything like that. Although it can be, but that decision is entirely up to you. So let's go over the framework. Ooh. It's crazy because due to technological advances, you know, I think in the past decade, I feel like everybody has forgotten this, like, you know, the power of critical thinking. So this simple solution, okay? This is called vision creation. That's the very, very first part. This is what you need to do. Autistically describe what your idea of success looks like in 5 years. So visually and physically speaking, you should be able to touch this vision. You should be able to close your fucking eyes and you should be able to see everything super vividly. So for me, when I was 23, I remember I did this simple exercise and this is what it looked like. I wanted to live in Finland. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to find a romantic partner that basically met the ideal version of who I wanted to be with. I wanted to be shredded. I wanted to be fit as fuck. I wanted to at least make 6 figures a year. I wanted to be able to master my emotions. I wanted to be disciplined. I just wanted the ability to have this like success, to have this like freedom. I wanted control is ultimately what I really wanted. And I wanted confidence, most importantly. Because that's something I feel like I've never really had when I was a kid. So these are the things that came from my old vision. And during that time when I was 23, I was working a 9-to-5 in healthcare. I was fucking stuck in New York City. I was surrounded by degenerate friends doing stupid shit like gaming, going late out night at the weekends, fucking drinking until they pass out. And I also had an ex-girlfriend at the time that was fucking discouraging as fuck. And I'm telling you that there was no fucking way in hell that this boy would have gotten to any sort of success, but I did. Now, at 25, literally like my entire story is on my Instagram page, so you can go fucking watch it. But at 25, I ended up living abroad in Finland, ended up living in Amsterdam, ended up traveling to the United Kingdom, went to France as well. I had a new loving, supportive partner. Obviously, we're no longer together. And I also got into the best shape of my fucking life. I became sociable. I became more confident without feeling nervous. And this was just due to the simple power of visualization and reviewing it on a daily basis, because this increases your chances of getting to the dream life you want. What ends up happening is when you review your vision or when you review a goal on a daily basis, the chances of you actually doing the actions necessary to actually get there will increase. Because imagine this. You have someone telling you to wake up and do this every single day, right? The chances of you actually doing it, it's going to increase. And that's just the power of the first step of just vision creation. Now, the second step is called future identity creation. So a common mistake that I feel like most of us make when it comes to rebuilding our life is that we're operating from the wrong identity to reach a different life. So this is a quote by Albert Einstein, and he says, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use when we created them." So you know what to do, but you can't really stick to it. So I get that part, okay? All we need to do is figure out in vivid detail this successful version of ourselves 5 years from today. What does he do on a daily basis? What kind of beliefs does he have? What kind of bad habits did he get rid of? Who does he surround himself with? And these are some of the questions that you need to identify, because there is this hidden potential inside of everyone, okay? And it comes in the form of this successful version of ourselves that's already there in the future, living in our dreams. And the thing is, there's already someone out there living it. You can look at influencers, other business owners, other entrepreneurs. They're already living a life that we want to live. Even fucking celebrities are living the life that we want to live. We just need to identify, gather inspiration from some of them, write this shit all out on a piece of paper, and literally review that shit on a daily basis, right? It's like, okay, this future version of myself, he's confident, he's disciplined, and he's successful. How? What does he do on a daily basis? He reads a book. He studies a money-making skill. He practices it daily. He meditates. He prays. He socializes. He eats healthy. He works out. Whatever it is, write it down and simply act as he would. Now, finally, the third part is called reflection, reiteration, and execution. Every single high-performing individual out there, and people that I know personally, whether it be in sports or business, they know the importance of reviews. More importantly, it's like reflecting on your own actions. If you're not really reviewing what your life is, if you're not really reviewing what you're doing on at least a weekly basis, how the fuck are you gonna know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong? Because the only way for us to really progress even faster is by checking what we're doing right, doubling down on it, and doing more of that. And whatever it is that we're doing wrong that's not getting us the results that we want, taking that away and stopping that from happening ever again. So that's the thing, right? For me, what I like to do is on Sundays, I like to review on a weekly basis. What did I do right this week, and what should I do more of? Second thing, what did I do wrong this week, and how can I avoid that from ever happening again? And third, what is the goal for this week? And I answer that on a weekly basis. And that's it. And then just take immediate action and then just execute according to the new reflections in order to get faster results. And now, a bonus concept that I feel like is not spoken enough. Like, everybody knows this shit right now, okay? Everybody knows that your environment is a pretty powerful factor, and I'll explain what that means. So, I think we've all heard of the quote of, you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. To add a little bit more on that, it's not even just the people that you surround yourself with, but it's also the environment, the home, the content you consume, the people you follow. It's like a whole combination of these like different things that all play an important role. So here's the thing, right? I feel like most people, especially right now, and I think it's been romanticized, is like this whole concept of being this lone wolf, trying to do everything by yourself, and like it works, but it takes longer because it's you and yourself working alone. Like imagine if you had put yourself in an environment where there's other people constantly pushing the other person to do better. So for me, when I was 25, I had a sales mentor that kept me accountable, And he made sure that I didn't quit just because I didn't feel like waking up or because I was too tired. And besides that, I also had a loving partner at the time that honestly believed in my dreams more than I did. And I was just like, holy fucking shit. I can't let her down. And also, my mentor, I couldn't let him down because he didn't give me a choice. I was literally there with him. And he's like, yo, I don't give a fuck how you feel, but you're waking up today and you're getting shit done. Okay? And also at the time, right, I ended up having surrounded myself with a small group of friends. Not just like entrepreneurs, but other people that wanted to improve themselves, like holistically speaking. So these guys cared about making more money and they cared about getting into shape. Two simple things. And not only that, they also, I don't like talking about this a lot, but they revived my faith in God. Like, they also taught me that, you know, we all honestly serve a bigger purpose than ourselves, and that we should honestly focus on that. It's like all this shit is honestly about like purpose. But going back to the main point about environment is that I understood that my future self, in terms of like the social circle and the people that he surrounds himself with, is that he would always surround himself with winners, with people that were further ahead in life than him. And I understood the importance of that, and because I did that, I eventually became a winner myself. Got better looking, got in better shape, made more money, felt more confident. And then not only that, it's like I also had a support system behind that as well. And in this current moment, I have 2 more mentors. I have, well, I mean, these mentors, they serve the purpose of helping me in terms of sales. So I have Tim Chow, who's the owner of Sales Mafia, and I also have Brian Choi, who's the owner of Real Sales Systems. And besides that, now I'm also part of 2 communities that have people winning every single day. Like, dude, there's people literally making thousands of dollars a day on a daily basis, and I'm in those communities. And because I see that, it's like imagine you wake up in the morning and you see a notification. It's like, oh, Jack made $2,000 today. And I'm just like, yo, I just fucking woke up. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm not making money, but these guys are making money. And when they call me out, they're like, Alan, what are you doing? Why are you not making money? I'm just like, oh man, that's embarrassing as shit. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you put yourself in a community like that, in an environment like that, right? As opposed to you working by yourself where there's no one there to actually push you, and there's no one there for you to compare yourself to. And before you go ahead and say, oh yeah, comparison is a thief of joy, shut the fuck up, okay? Because you've been trying that shit for the past few years. I've done that before. I've tried being lone wolf and it doesn't fucking work. You can go lone wolf if you need to rebuild yourself by yourself for a month. Let's say you're sick and tired and you need to cut everything off. Cut off the toxicity, cut off social media, cut everything off. Do that. That's completely fine. But once you rebuild yourself to a certain foundation, to a certain stable point, then go seek a community. Go find your people that actually push you and want to see you successful. Because that's the fastest way for you to get to where you want to be. And I truly believe that in this life, our time is limited. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to spend most of my life enjoying it, enjoying the freedom, enjoying the success, and just giving back to my loved ones. Giving back to my parents, giving back to my future partner, giving back to my family, giving back to my people. And that's why I create shit like this. Because I wanted to get as successful as possible so I could fucking give back to the people. Because when I was younger, I had no one to help me. I had to figure this shit out by myself. And that's why I'm fucking here. You know? God has blessed me with 2 younger sisters, and God has also blessed me with being the oldest fucking brother, so I had to learn everything the hard fucking way. Now, going back to the main point, the reality of the framework. All you need to do is implement the right mental framework and the systems into your life so that you can rebuild your entire identity from scratch. You fix who you are as a person, you change the life that you have. It's literally that simple. So, here's a question that you gotta ask yourself, right? And this is the question that has helped me so many fucking times. What does my future version of myself do right here, right now? The version of myself that's making $100K a month, that's jacked as fuck, that has full confidence, that's surrounded by winners. What does he do right here, right now, in my position. Whenever I don't feel like doing anything, when I don't feel like making content, when I don't feel like writing newsletters, when I don't feel like talking to people, when I don't feel like waking up, I ask myself, what does the future version of myself, who has everything that I want, what does he do right here, right now? And then I simply do it. Fuck your thoughts, fuck your emotions, fuck what you believe in. Only act as your future self. And very slowly, your brain will start to rewire itself because you're giving yourself permission to think like that version of yourself who is already successful. Now, I know this method sounds super simple and it sounds too good to be true, but there is a catch. And the catch of this framework is that while it is super simple, it's extremely difficult to execute for a number of reasons. Number one, you're operating under your current identity that is currently self-sabotaging, procrastinating, and indulging in short-term satisfaction. Reason number two, you will always find an excuse to get in your own way with thoughts of, I'll do it tomorrow, I need more research, my plan isn't perfect yet. Number three, you don't know if you've chosen the right path because you don't believe in it due to your lack of self-confidence. And because of that, you're going to keep overthinking, you're going to keep overplanning and never really taking action. And finally speaking, you are not disciplined enough. You don't have the necessary systems nor the people to bring you up there. And that is completely normal. You know why? Because you spent over the 20 years operating as the same version of yourself as you've always been. The one that was raised by parents that have never seen more than 6 figures in their bank account. The one taught by teachers that have never started their own business. The one that had a fucking gym teacher that was out of shape that's telling you to go run 10 laps. And you're also the one that's been surrounded by friends that only talk about the fucking sports channel or that 10 out of 10 girl that they saw at the club last night, but they're like, oh yeah, I could have got her number, but I didn't feel like it. It's like, your programming is fucked. And it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to change yourself. So the questions that you need to ask yourself is this. Do you have the time to bullshit yourself, to keep planning, to keep trying to figure all of this out by yourself, to figure out what business to start, whether it's the right one for you, whether what actions you're supposed to take, what people to talk to, what strategies actually work? I'm sure you know the answer to that. The answer to that is no. You don't fucking have time anymore. Because the older you get, the less energy you have, the more people depend on you, the more motivation you actually need to get up to start your work. And the harder it gets to learn a new skill and actually retain the information to actually get there. Life literally only gets harder from here. And the thing is, you can wait the perfect time. You can wait for it until you feel like it's right for you to actually make a change. But that perfect time was years ago, bro. It's already too fucking late. But the next best time is now. And I know it sounds corny as shit because everybody fucking talks about this. So here's the thing. There's two types of people that are actually watching this video. There are the guys that actually watch this video and decide to take action today. There's the other people that watch this video and then they're just like, you know what? Yeah, cool. Alan said all this shit, but I'll do it another day. I ain't ready yet. I'm just going to fuck off and do something else. So, question you got to ask yourself. Which one will you be? Da-da, the end. You know, I've really enjoyed making this video and I haven't done something like this in some time. So, needless to say, I'm super hyped and excited to actually come back and start posting more shit like this. But yeah, follow along, stay tuned. I'll be posting more shit like this and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace!